So, hey, Blaine, how's it going?
What's going on? Another good Monday night for serial killers, supernatural, and murderers.
That's
We got a good one
it.
tonight. We got a good one tonight.
Oh, man,
he's
it
a little
hits
bit
close to home.
I know it's funny because he's a little bit on the short side, little wee wee for little pee wee, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, tonight we are doing Donald Pee Wee Gaskins, the twisted mind of a serial killer. Now, the story is he didn't even know his name was Donald. He was arrested, and they called him Donald, and he said, "Who's Donald?" He said, "My name's Pee Wee."
I didn't know my name. I didn't know my first name was Ronald till about the third day of first grade, and the lady kept asking for Ronald Rohan. I kept looking for my dad. I didn't know that was my name.
Well, my name, Latrina. I always get Latrina, which is like
Latrina.
Bathroom. So that's why I went
Latrina.
with Lee. Just Lee. It's fine.
That's funny. How do you say your name? Lee.
Lee. That's it.
Yep.
All right. So here's our producer.
There's Winnie.
Miss Gwen Johns. And here's Thomas.
Hey, Thomas. We thought you got lost somewhere, brother.
I was on a Zoom call trying to help some other people out at their Paracon, just trying to give some advice, and so it got a little held up. And when I have this on, I can't see the clock. And then my friend, my partner Charles says, "You got to be on a podcast." So 3 minutes late. It's okay.
No problem.
Yeah.
And 2.5 of that
scaring everybody.
It didn't scare me. It just scared Gwen because she's worried anyway. So
Yes, I am. Thank you. I heard cats for a living, right?
I should have texted you and said, I can't come on right now. I'm being chased by a serial killer. So.
Oh my goodness.
With no milk.
Yeah.
No milk. Yeah, with cereal. So tonight we got a really weird guy, Mr. Donald Pee Wee Gaskins, the twisted mind of a serial killer, and he didn't know his name was Donald. He was being arrested, and they called him Donald. He said, "Who's Donald?" He was.
You know that? Y'all got the wrong guy.
Pee Wee. So, that's scary. That's super scary. Okay, so I'm going to do a quick intro. He was born March 13, 1933 in South Carolina. Yes, I said South Carolina. Gwen, that's us, girl. What the heck?
I know it.
Okay, so he was a little guy, obviously. His name's Pee Wee. And he claims, which means, they always claim less, but he said, "I think I killed 100 people." He's one of the most sadistic killers in American history. Wow. Now, do you think this guy was made a serial killer, or was he born a serial killer? I mean, we talked about
nurtured, okay.
Yeah, we were just talking about Ramirez and how he wasn't born a serial killer, but he was made one. Okay, now same question. Now, are we looking at someone that was made one? Who's born extremely poor. Him getting fed was an occurrence every few days. It wasn't a lunch, breakfast, breakfast, lunch, dinner kind of thing. Maybe. He didn't have shoes most of his life as a kid, extreme poverty.
I bet the kids around here said, "Pee Wee, you can quit being so goddamn poor. We're going to start throwing rocks at you."
Well, I do know that he got in so much trouble. Look, he grew up in abuse and poverty, so that means that his parents were abusive and neglectful. Poverty-stricken home. He experienced beatings and neglect, which I just talked about. So, what does he do? But he has to go steal stuff, and he's mad now, of course. So now he's burning stuff up, and he's violent. Being in a violent home, I'm sure he thinks that's what's normal. And here's the sad part: when he went to reform school, he was repeatedly assaulted. And when I say assaulted, I mean it. Not just getting picked at, pushed down, not just sticks and stones can break my bones, but words will never. I'm not talking like that. I'm talking they were sadistic to him because he was so tiny.
Turn the favor. How tall actually was he?
I haven't not been able to get that.
Well, there's been some different stuff, but really the average height they've been talking, he's about 5'4".
Okay, about the same size as Manson then.
I just looked it up. It says 5'2".
Oh, wow.
But then at the bottom down here,
That's
it
malnutrition.
says between the height of 5'2" and 5'4". So there you go.
Yep.
And his weight, he was about the size of a 13-year-old. Yeah.
But the crazy thing, 5'2", 5'4", whatever, 130 pounds, and he was still nicknamed the meanest man in America. It's like, how do you become the meanest man in America and being that diminutive? So
Napoleon
that's where this whole story comes in from day one and till the day that they decided to fry him. So, that's pretty much a long history. This guy was at the age of 1 decided to drink a whole bottle of kerosene.
Awesome.
And that basically he had convulsions till the age of 3. So doing that and having those convulsions till the age of 3 as you're growing, how does that affect you later on in life? We really don't know. But originally he's Pee Wee Gaskins, Donald Gaskins Jr. Originally his name was Parrott Jr. was his last name. So he had all these different names, and no wonder he didn't know what the heck his name was by the time he went to court as a teenager to find out that his name was Donald Henry Gaskins, which is crazy. But the whole other part is his mom was in and out with all these different boyfriends, and they were all beating the crap out of him. She was allowing it, and that abuse. And there was other things done to him that shouldn't be done to young men and all, but that's another thing that happened. Even when he was in reform school, the other kids were doing that to him, to the point where he was using it to get favored, to get protected. So he'd find somebody that could protect him and let him do whatever he wanted to him, so he'd have protection from all these other people. So it's a sad thing. And I think it built up a lot of anger in him to the point where his MO was so different. There were so many different layers to him. When he started killing, he called them his coastal kills, where he would just see somebody out on the highway and he'd kill them. But he was also known to, be hired to kill as a hitman on 2 different things. But also, he would kill people that owed him money, or any of them that just, got him angry. He killed family members, young family members and all. But really the first thing that really got him was he was a little group of kids, and, they went into a house. They were going to, do a gang thing on somebody, but, they got caught. And so the girl wouldn't get away. He actually put an axe to her head. So that's originally what started everything. The girl didn't die, but he ended up in prison the reform first. And he escaped so many times. He escaped the reform school, got himself hitched, and the woman he got married to convinced him to go back and serve the rest of his time. So, and in and out of jail his whole life. And he's been married, I think, he got married 3 times during his whole reign and all that. So, which is crazy. The history goes on at the young age. The axe to the head was at 13. And
here you go. I got some of this.
Yeah.
Hold on. All right. So he met 2 other guys, one named Marsh and one named Danny, and they were the double trio, the trouble trio. Yeah. Sorry. And so Danny, Marsh, and Gaskins committed a string of serious crimes, including burglary, solicitation of prostitutes, but the bad part was the trouble trio did the worst crimes, where they actually raped boys and girls. One of the crew's victims included a sister of either Danny or Marsh. Okay, in 1946, Danny and Marsh left Florence County, but Gaskin ended up just continuing on. And during one of the crimes, Pee Wee crept into this girl's home, and she struck him with an axe. That's what you were just talking about. And Gaskin survived the ordeal, but Florence County Sheriff's Department located a muddy footprint that was traced back to Pee Wee, and he ended up in solitary confinement from that.
Wow.
The footprint Same thing with Ramirez. That's how he got caught, over a footprint of a shoe. But you never know what you leave behind. But Gaskins was very prolific, but he never fit a pattern really on the types of people he killed. There were so many different reasons, just him getting pissed off at somebody or any of those things. But I think one of the cool parts, not really cool, but people look at him, and you look at somebody that big, and you're not going to think, well, yeah, he's probably got a hot temper. But the people in the town, they were afraid of him. But the thing is, he bought a hearse, right, to drive around. And he told everybody, I need the hearse to move the bodies of the people I killed to bury. And everyone's like, you're funny. It's a hearse and all that. And he was telling them the truth. So, oh, my God. Those little things that get by. Even like talking about taking people seriously, we do it back to Jeffrey Dahmer, those cops that originally went in the house and brought the kid back in. You smelled something weird and you didn't do anything about it. You said, I don't want to be bothered with it. There's too many people that don't want to be bothered by the clues, the things that are slapping them right in the face, and they're not doing anything about it. And if you do something about it just for a moment, that could save 10, 20, 50, 100 lives, depending on how prolific you stop that person at that moment. So that's what we have to adjust to as a society. We just, crash car on the side of the road and all that. Something looks suspicious. What the two people are about. Somebody's about to pull a gun, but you don't say anything, or you don't.
I've got a good name for his hurts. Killing wheels.
Killing wheels.
I think somebody said that. I think they said the hearse was purple. I was like, how do you get somebody must have painted it before he bought it, but it said it was like purple. I was like, I've never seen a purple hearse.
Oh, you see all kinds of stuff down here.
Playful hoist. I got you. Look, so a taste for blood. Gaskin claimed his first murder when he was in his teens. He developed a craving for causing pain and suffering. He perfected the art of deception to lure victims because he couldn't overpower them, right? And he began traveling highways, hunting for vulnerable prey.
Yep.
Also, he played the game of being like a dad as he got older. What are you doing out here? Why are you hitchhiking? Yeah. Somebody could take advantage of you. Get in this car and let me give you a ride. Yeah, because that's going to happen. It took him 47 minutes to rape and murder and bury somebody. From the time he got his hands on it, the quickest he said was 40. Yeah.
All in his kills on wheels. Wow.
Yeah. So
he didn't have that. He didn't have the hearse that long. He didn't have the hearse that long more closer towards the end.
Right.
But we'll get into that in a little bit. But the coastal kills with just picking up people on the highway. But he killed in so many different ways. Tried to poison people, whatever was available to him at that moment. So,
he poisoned people, he choked people, he stabbed people, he shot people, he drowned people.
He beat them to death, he slit their throats.
Anything that he could do. And it was like there was no, like today it would be a hard time for a profiler to get a profile on him because his stuff was all over the damn place.
Yeah. So,
he said he said he believed he was born to kill.
Yeah.
I don't know that that's the case. I don't think he had a choice. I mean,
I think when he took that first ass whooping when he was a kid, I think that triggered him right there. The more ass whoopings he got, the more mad he got. Yeah. And he wanted to put that back on all his victims.
Let me give you an idea of how horrible things were for him, okay? He said that reform school was worse than prison because he was frequently gang raped in the school shower.
Yep. And
to defend these attacks, Gaskins often provided sexual favors to the boss boy, a school kingpin, in return for protection. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what you just said. But for a brief time, following a successful escape, Pee-wee traveled with a circus and was married to a 13-year-old girl. However, Gaskins eventually returned to the school because of her, and he graduated on his 18th birthday. So he was in there a really long time. Pee-wee soon found work on a tobacco plantation. Around the same time, several barns in the area caught fire, obviously by him, and more than a few locals blame Pee Wee. The daughter of Gaskins' employer believed that the fires were part of an insurance scheme, and when she confronted Pee Wee with the suspicion, he struck her in the head with a hammer. So Pee Wee was arrested for this crime and sentenced to 6 years in prison.
Yep. And he escaped from that prison too.
Good God. So
yeah,
he
up in Florida, I
some
think,
guy, some girl.
Yeah.
No, he hit one girl upside the head with a hammer.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
He got hit. He got hit. I think.
Oh.
Is that me?
What's that?
That's me. I'm
Don't
sorry.
know.
Oh. Okay. Just making sure it wasn't me because I was going to hit buttons
No,
until
I think you're
stopped.
I think yours got a little battery issue, I think, on your microphone, but because you're kind of a little scratchy, but it's okay. We hear what you're saying.
So there's the coastal kills and personal murders, because he had the coastal kills, random hitchhikers, but then he had serious murders, is what he called them, where he carefully planned the killings of those that angered him or pissed him off. Okay? He drowned them, stabbed them, mutilated them, and the bodies were buried in secret deep inside the swamps. Oh my goodness. They were
near the end, when he was really, I think it was 75 where he called it his most killing year, and that's pretty much when he finally got caught. But he resorted to a lot of different things. There was even a point where he was cannibalizing also on top of it. So
another cannibal? Holy crap.
Just everything you could think of, and I think he earned his nickname, the meanest man in America, because he would kill you, whatever he had, whatever, and just for the reasons of, just doing it, or you angered him, or you were disrespectful or anything, even if you were family, it didn't matter to him. And people even say to this day, everybody that lived in town were afraid of him. You're afraid of a 5'2", 230-pound guy.
I know. Could you imagine like somebody in his family or somebody just goes, "Won't you go sit down, you little sawed off bastard?" And just violent. The next thing you know, you're dead.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit.
But I think in the prison system, he got a lot of respect because the second time around, when he was actually in prison, he did the old thing to get respect in prison, is take on the biggest guy. Well, hey, the biggest guy came calling. Hazel Brazel came calling, and Pee Wee killed him. And you're thinking he only got a little more time, 6 more years for manslaughter, but they said he was defending himself.
Yeah.
Which technically I don't think he was. He was just trying to, keep stuff from happening to him. So, and getting that respect. Don't mess with me kind of thing, So.
Well, here we go. I got my last awful fact, number 3 for tonight.
Yep.
Okay. Back in prison, Gaskins' tiny size made him a target for sexual assault and rape, and one of the prison's toughest power men took a liking to Pee Wee. But after a series of rapes, Gaskins struck the man and slit his throat with a razor. This killing earned Pee Wee respect in prison, and the diminutive monster was mostly left alone for the rest of his incarceration.
Yeah.
So in 55, Gaskin escaped prison by hiding out in the back of a garbage truck. He found his way to Florida after being captured in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Before being captured in Tennessee, Gaskins received a charge of driving a stolen car across state lines, and his sentence ran concurrently with his original 6-year sentence from 51. Gaskin would not see freedom again until August 1961. Following his parole, they paroled him.
Yeah.
Oh my God! What are they? Stupid.
They did a lot of criminals like that. They served exactly their time and they let them out.
Yeah.
Overpopulation. So.
Yeah. But he kept killing. It got worse from there. It really got worse from there. He felt like he had more control now and wanted to keep that control, like what he did in prison, by gaining that respect. And that grew for him. He knew that now he had the proverbial nutsack to do something at that. And that grew for him. He had confidence now in his killing. And that makes him even more dangerous. He finally came to a point where I'm not going to be pushed around anymore.
Yeah.
And that grew. And a lot of people he killed, people were trying to push him around. He says, I'm not going to let that happen again. You're a dead person. So that's pretty much what happened from there on out. You know, I think he had a friend later on in life that he confided in, and his name was Walter Neely. And that's how Pee Wee was finally captured. Nobody would ever capture this guy because his MO didn't match. Even like you said, a profiler probably wouldn't be able to pick up on him because he didn't fit a pattern of killing. He would just do different things. He was leveling up in his psychosis, like each year, and in his experiences he had within jail, within childhood, and it kept growing, and he just killed whatever he had, not fitting a pattern. But this Walter Neely turned him in. So I have this guy, he killed all these people, and this is where he buried all the bodies. And then they go and they dig up 8 bodies, and there you go, he's in jail. So, and that's when they finally put him in jail, pretty much for good, you know, and they gave him a death sentence, but then the death sentence was taken away because they weren't going to do death sentences anymore in the area. So, but that's where it really gets to the point where I talked about, you know, there was one person he was hired to kill outside of the prison. But
right, and I don't have all that.
The biggest one was in prison that he did, and they made a movie out of it because that one was a whole 2020 type of thing going on there, you know. And I don't know if you guys read up on that part of it, but you know, there was an inmate named Rudolph Tyner, and he was just like kind of a drifter guy on drugs and all that. Decided he was gonna I think this Bill and Myrtle Moon own this what is it, your guys' area, the is something inlet or whatever. They had a store there.
Myrtle's Inlet.
Yeah. And so this guy went in and killed the 2 of them while during the robbery. So he was in prison to be put to death too. But the thing is, you know, it was taking too long. So their son, Tony Simeo, was upset about it. Wasn't happening fast enough, and he wanted this guy done. So somehow he got information, and he started going back and forth with Pee Wee Gaskins in the jail. And Pee Wee says, "Yeah, I'll take him out. $2,000 is going to be put into his commissary." And he says, "Well, if you could get me some C4 and all that, I have a plan." So they sneak in the C4. And what he does is he puts it into this little radio thing. And he says, "Oh, here, his neighbor was this guy." And he slid it over and say, "Hey, you could listen to music on this and all that." As soon as he put that thing up to his ear, he plugged it in. The electricity made the C4 go off and blew this guy's head off. So
where the hell does he get C4?
They snuck it into the prison. So
did he pay off the guard or something, or?
Well, and you could get it in the mail, and you could put it in somehow, and you know, make it look like something. But that's what happened. And the thing is because of that, you know, the death penalty started up again, and because of that murder, he got the death penalty again. So he got the death penalty twice. So, you know, because it went away, and then he got it again. So he was convicted twice of the death penalty.
Would that not be double jeopardy, though?
Yeah. I forget what the name of the movie is. It's something to do with Tony Simeo. If you look that up, I can't remember what the name of the movie was. It was something the life of Tony Simeo and whatever. I think it's something like that. I'd have to look it up again myself. These things come and go in my brain, so I you know, getting old, and I don't know. I get information.
You're doing better than me. You're doing better than me. Listen, I want to take just a quick minute. I should have done this at the beginning of the show. It feels really weird looking in the chats because we've lost a dear friend who watched the show religiously. That's been on our shows. We miss you already, Raymond. He passed away just out of nowhere. Bang, he's gone, and like 2 days ago. So this episode is dedicated to our dear friend Raymond G. Newsom. We miss you, dear. I know that you're a paranormal guy like us, so I hope you hear me. I hope you'll be able to see the show, and thank you for all your support that you gave us. God, we miss you, brother. We miss you so much.
Lee, he's listening and watching.
Definitely.
I feel it too. He was so much fun. Is so much fun.
Yeah, we've lost a lot of people in the industry over these last few months and all that. So, and, yeah,
I've noticed.
Be around.
I've noticed that several people have come to me asking about the supernatural, and I thought they were curious. And then all of a sudden, I find out they've passed away.
Yeah.
And that's been something that's I'm not used to that yet. I mean, but it's probably happened to me 15 times in
all of us
less than 8 months. In fact, Blaine came here to see me, and the three of us, me, Gwen, and Blaine, went over to the hospice hospital to see someone that had reached out to us. So she came to see me the other day, guys. Well, Gwen was with me. So,
there's some people
you can always smell her smoke. Remember that, Blaine?
Yeah, I still smell it.
But there are some people when their time's about to come up, they know for some reason. They have an inkling of it. Let's go back. You know, I know Johnny Zaffis would tell the story how he spent that last day with Ed Warren, and Ed told him, "You need to know this stuff. You need to know this stuff," and pushed him. And he's like, "Well, Ed usually doesn't talk like this." And just a couple hours later, Ed had that stroke.
He had the stroke.
He never was able to do anything again after that. But, you know, it's almost like
I saw that.
He almost like he knew.
I saw Johnny had posted that the other day, how Ed was pushing him. I won't always be here. And he said, why are you talking to me this way? Why are you saying that stuff? And then he knew. Yeah. And I want you to know, I really think Mom knew too.
Yeah.
Oh, Mom did.
I really do.
Mom didn't know.
Yeah. I had a friend of mine in Florida, and I remember her telling me the story of her father. For a week, he was talking about, well, I'm not going to be here much longer. I said, why are you talking this way? Why are you talking this way? And there was a picnic, you know, at the end of the week that they were all at, and somebody's car let loose. And he pushed her out of the way, grabbed his other daughter and all that, and, you know, held her, and the car ran over him. The daughter lived, but he died. It's like he knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
So, you know, some people, they have that intuition, like something's going to happen. And unfortunately, they know it's going to happen to them, which pretty scary, I guess. Some people that pick up on that. But yeah, supernatural is, you know, when you really look at it, the things that happen and how we pick up on things and why things happen. And, you know, how do you question it? You really can't. The time is our time, and we have to make good with it. So.
Yep. True.
But
and that's the thing.
I'm looking in the comment section, and, you know, Sean's trying to keep things going, you know, but I'm looking for him. I'm looking for Raymond's post. You know, he was always very intuitive with his questions. And hey, Richard, thank you for watching our show tonight.
I'm Richard.
How's it going? But yeah, you know, even going back to Pee-wee, talking about you don't know when your time is like these victims and all that. And just going around with life, and then you got some guy that's just angry. Or just, you know, I never get that side of it, how people that intertwine, like we talk about, you know, you're going to come into contact in your life indirectly or directly with like 32 serial killers.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we do this show, because we want people to be more aware of it, you know?
Absolutely.
Don't get into the car with somebody just because, you know, oh, they're being nice.
My mom was
pitfall. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Blaine.
My mom was telling me Sunday when I talked to her that my dad had actually picked up Ted Bundy and gave him a ride.
Yeah.
I'm like, holy crap.
That's what I said. And Dad said, he said he felt scared because the guy was creepy. And then a couple months later, Dad just happened to have on the news, and there's freaking Ted Bundy on this. Holy shit, that's the dude I gave a ride to. Yeah. Like, my dad could have been killed by Bundy. Thank God thank God he didn't like killing men. He liked killing women, but I feel sorry for the women he killed. But I'm glad he didn't kill my dad.
What you mean? He was the wrong team member. Yeah. He would have. Yeah, I knew what you meant.
Dad would have messed him up.
I'm about to say your dad's a big.
Dad could fight like a hornet. So.
Yeah.
And Dad was lying.
That's probably why Bundy didn't mess with some people and all that. No. But you know, even some women probably would have kicked his butt too. So. You get the wrong woman on the wrong day.
I wonder who would have fight between him and Eileen Warnos.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we need to do her.
She was a scrappy little bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was. That's exactly right. Let me see what this next slide is. I've lost. We talked about Raymond and messed me up. Okay, so he maintained a friendly, almost fatherly facade. This is the monster behind the mask. Okay, he wasn't able to do like Bundy and charm them, so he became a dad. Oh, come on, get in the car. He lured victims by offering them rides or assistance. Let me help you with that bag. Yeah. Many victims were never found. Their fates were only confessed in his own words. And he claimed he had a special feeling that compelled him to kill. Now, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. What is that about?
Okay. That is just a inner psychosis that he had. It probably was a voice he heard or something he visualized or something he just felt like out of all the blues, like, oh, I'm happy today. And then, okay, I'm going to kill Gwen today. And that's what he did. Sorry, Gwen.
No. He said that something would come over him.
Yeah.
He was talking about, he even mentions it in his book. Something wouldn't come over him, and he felt like it was an itch, like he had to kill. And I don't think he was at the wheel, y'all. I don't think he was at the wheel.
If you think of this, you ever watched the show Dexter? He comes in a dark passenger that would show up when he needed to kill somebody. And Gaskins and most other serial killers probably had that going on with them. It's like that dark passenger just floats. Okay, now I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. Or anybody I get my hands on, I'm going to figure out a way to make you die today.
Yep. But you're talking dark passenger. You know what the dark passenger is?
And just imagine, though, how many.
It's the trauma.
It's the trauma.
What's that?
Dark passenger.
The trauma. Yeah.
You were talking about Dexter. Anybody watch the show? Hopefully, I don't spoil it for him. His first foray into life that he remembers is being in the back of this carrier with his mom and his brother, and they killed his mom, and he's in a pool of blood before they found him and all that. And this that being around all that blood made him be a professional in blood and all that and all this other stuff. There's weird things, they can happen at such a young age. You're at that when you're born, like I told you about, up to 7 before critical thinking kicks in. If you mess up that time and all that, that's where things go dormant. And then as you get older, it starts awakening more and more. That's where a lot of people develop, schizophrenia comes in and those types of things where your brain's developing. This kid swallowed kerosene at the age of 1. That's another factor of having convulsions and what it's doing to your brain. Remember, we talked about that frontal cortex or the amygdala and all that. Those are the things that most serial killers have. And, with the abuse from everybody, from home and from friends and all that in school or reform school or in jail. But again, he took back his power when he took out that one guy to gain respect. And I think it turned from him there. The psychosis changed that I'm not a victim anymore. And now I'm in control. Yeah. And he wanted to maintain that control. And that's where you get a lot of this.
And since he was a short-statured person, most of them anyway are, you got to remember, dynamite comes in small packages. And they lit the fuse on that dynamite.
Yeah.
Yes, they did. Yeah. That's scary. All right, so
you never know.
I have a video that I wanted to show you guys. Let's see. Hold on. We don't own the rights to this video. Okay, so I'm going to put that up and then run it below. So hopefully, Facebook and TikTok and all the powers that be will leave us alone and let us make our point, because we're trying to have a show here.
Yeah.
And it helps to be able to refer back to it. Whenever you have someone that's actually talking about what he was like and they were there, kind of a thing.
Oh, the neighbor, yeah. I think I've seen this.
So let me play that really quick. Let me get it going here. I'm gonna share screens. Let's see what happens. There.
No.
I was thinking the same thing,
Pat. All right, here we go.
Yep, the private graveyard. Yep.
Can you hear it?
Yep.
5'4", Donald Pee Wee Gaskins would earn himself the title, the meanest man in America.
If you had a business dispute, you'd sue him. He would kill him.
Thanks.
A serial killer who, if he's to be believed, was responsible for over 100 cruel and sickening murders.
Right over here is where he drowned Doreen, and then he hit the baby in the back of the head hatchet after he had raped her. The total amount is 105 people.
A man who wouldn't stop killing, even on death row.
We plugged that son of a bitch up and blow money in hell.
It was just kind of astonishing that all that was able to happen in the penitentiary.
So what made Pee Wee the man he was? And was he born to kill?
My daddy, he called himself a vampire. He would have to see blood. Drive a long time ago, and on the very back, he had a little sign that says, "I hold dead bodies." Everybody joked about it. Everybody just, thought it was funny.
He always told people that he hauled bodies in it, but people didn't pay much attention to him. But while they didn't pay attention to him, they were still scared of him in Little Orange County. Everybody, if you talked about Pee Wee, they sort of would run and hide because they were scared of him. He had that kind of reputation.
Gaskins' daughter, Shirley, remembers the day Kim Gaskins vanished.
Her mom had died, and she got to be friends with Daddy because Daddy was living in Charleston. She was a sweet little girl. We had just come back from the park, and my mother-in-law lived next door, and the children was going to go there to get something to eat. So I said, "Well, go on over there, and I'll be there in a minute." And when I went over there, I said, "Where's Kim?" Nobody had seen Kim. And she just walked out the door and disappeared. And Daddy said, "Well, don't worry about it. She probably run away."
Kim was not the only missing person. 5 years earlier, in 1970, Shirley's cousin, Janice Kirby, had vanished.
Janice and when we were little, we did everything together. She was a sweet girl, very smart girl, very good in school. And she was just, all-American country girl. When she first disappeared, everybody said that, she'd run away from home. We were all out looking for her, searching for her. Everybody was calling everybody that they knew to, try to find her. But, after 6-7 months, we knew something wasn't right.
Now, detectives investigating the new disappearance began to focus on Shirley's father, Donald Pee Wee Gaskins.
Some of our field agents were working on rumors that had been surfacing, working along with detectives from Charleston in an attempt to find Kim Gaskins. We started looking for the Gaskins girl, and of course, we did not have Pee Wee at the time, but we did have an individual who was running Pee Wee at the time. We did pick Walter Neely up, and after a lot of talking and everything, Walter finally took the investigators out and showed them where he had helped Pee Wee bury someone. they knew somebody was buried there. We didn't have any idea what we were going to find until.
Yeah, that's really, that was the whole thing we were talking about with the Walter Neely gave him up. He'd still be killing today, I think. I don't know how old he'd be now. Was he born in 1933? So who knows? He probably would have passed by now. But the thing is,
I hope I didn't show too much. I hope that was okay.
Yeah.
I didn't want to take up
you showed just
too much. That was his daughter.
I can't believe that's his own daughter.
But what did you guys notice about the daughter?
She talked
what did you
about
notice
him
about the daughter?
She talked about him with love.
Did you see the look in her eyes?
Yes.
Yeah.
She had that broken soul look in her eyes talking about her father.
Yes, she did.
Almost disassociative because she's got that trauma.
Yes, it was weird.
PTSD, you have to live with the fact that my dad was a serial killer. The families become victims too. Even though they're alive, they got to live with it. They got to live with the ridicule too.
Think about like, okay, they found out your dad's a serial killer. Every bully in her school is going to start picking on her and start beating her up or calling her crazy like her daddy because her daddy's a serial killer. She's a serial killer too. Children are vicious.
Children are mean.
Child had no other means but to be that happened to be her father. But she's probably she's probably a kind, generous person when her dad was just a total asswipe.
Yeah, you can't count that against them, but some people will. You look at the family, how much a lot of the family when he got caught, hey, he got caught, but as time went on, his half sister, they dug up her backyard multiple times, still trying to find bodies of his claim of 110, which they only were able to prove 14, and then the 15th one was the guy he blew up in the prison. But they constantly, some new evidence comes up, they go digging up one of his relatives' yards or something, and they're like, I'm just done with it,
Well, too, if he actually buried a lot of those people in the swamp, those people would never be found. I know people in Louisiana has been missing for 50 years, and they still hadn't found them in the swamp.
They're not gonna find them
because we got all these damn predators, scavengers, and they will clean that body down to nothing.
Yeah, and it's going to be all over the place. Everything's going to be wherever.
Whatever little bones are left, they've done sunk in the silt or whatever is in the swamp.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, he wasn't big enough to dig holes. He wasn't strong enough. And so what I was told is from some people that have been searching for some people that he killed, he would also, when he was a carny, he would actually murder and bury people along the creek, along the rivers and creeks, because again, it's soft and he could, dig a hole fairly quickly and dump somebody in there. Exactly. And I've got to show you this. It's a very short video, but I've got a lot more of these that we're going to be going through, and I might have some more to show you later or not. But there's a business that's right on the side of a creek that turns into a river, and he contacted me and said that he had paranormal activity. This is a vape shop, and he calls it Thunderdome. He didn't give me any pretense about what was going on. He just said, I would like for you to see it. Come before the store closes. I got there and he was vacuuming the heck out of the place, and he hung strips from the ceiling and turned the air conditioner off. So during videos you could see that the air conditioner wasn't blowing because the number of orbs that were in this place, and nobody's allowed to smoke in there, was unbelievable. And I'm not one for orbs, but if I could give you the records from the ghost box sessions, help me. Pee-wee killed me. He's here. Pee-wee killed me. He killed me. I want my mama. Stuff like that. Meanwhile, these orbs are going across everywhere. Orb wouldn't be anything unless he took the pains he did to make sure they could not be faked. Okay, let me show you.
I'm glad you turned the air down. So,
You saw it in the bottom left, right?
Yes, I did. Here it goes again.
So I don't know if you can tell, but the orb goes through the wall. Yep. So if it's an insect, it can't go through the wall and come out the other side. And that was just the start. I actually sat back and watched, and he called it Thunderdome. It looked like a light show up there. And then he has a Bible that he keeps on his desk, and it actually, whatever's there, whenever he starts picking up Pee Wee Gaskin, it'll flip his Bible. It'll flip like somebody, boom, like that, and it flips and lands. So yeah, there's a lot going on there. So we'll be going there this summer, and I would love to try to figure out who she is. So if you have any documents about the names of the people that he murdered, I would love to be able to at least try to call out the names, because she's too distraught. The one that does the speaking, she's so distraught she can't even tell me her name. She just, I want my mama. And he killed me. And I'm like, who killed you? And she said, Pee Wee killed me. Like that. And it's just awful to hear it.
Lee, the name
and all
the name I'm getting from her is Lily Ann.
Lily Ann. All right. Let me
see if you can track them down with that. But just so you know, when they are stuck like that and they're having a hard time getting something out, they're still stuck in the trauma of being murdered.
Of course they are.
You have to take them away from that trauma and have them picture, the best time in their life. You have to have that conversation with them. That way, if you could break them from that, you could get a name. Once you have a name, I think it's going to be more helpful for them to overcome that trauma that's holding them here and let them make the decision to move on. So
I usually don't try to cross spirits over.
They have to want to.
Yeah, but this young lady is so distraught. Do you remember that case we had in Alabama, Blaine, and it was the child that, and he was, and there was no getting a word. That was her.
Yeah.
And it was heart wrenching. I'm telling you, I dread going back to talk to her but we're going to do it. We're going to do it and work with it. But there's a lot more going on there because there were more people murdered there. But the body of water goes near the store. It's a drive, but we'll get there. We'll spend some time. Just thought I would show that to you. That orb went through the wall. I mean, everybody orb, but no, he turned it. You heard me say, I'm glad you turned the AC down, which means off.
How long was that place there? Do you know how long that building was there for?
It's been there since the late 70s.
Okay. I know he killed people earlier than the 70s, but I'm wondering about the wall, if there wasn't something there at the time. That's why it moved through the wall. It's that residual. Or, them people trying to get their story out, trying to manifest and all that, could give off that type of energy. They can't totally do it because they're so stuck. So we got
a lot of responses back, buried. We're buried. And I'm like, my God, they built this store on top of this person. The
possibility.
And, yeah, I don't know that from that particular EDP session. That was what we were getting at the time, and that ran through my head, but I didn't feel it from a spirit. I was just trying to think through it. But anyway, not often we have some footage from a place that was affected by a serial killer. So there we are.
Yeah, it's a big one. It's a big energy to deal with, because with a lot of trauma and all that in one place attached to a serial killer who had a evil intent, and they could die with that evil intent still, and he could trap his victims still, and
he's there.
He's doing that. He's there. He's there. Yes.
I'm hearing him right now tell her.
I heard his voice.
Lily Ann, shut up. Lily Ann, shut up. I heard it just twice now.
When he comes into that building, I feel it all over me. It goes up my back. The feeling when we were at the river and we saw the eyes and we knew it's that, but I can't find the source. It's all over me when we were there.
Okay, yeah, he's very strong.
And
and Lily Ann's not the only one there.
Right.
He either had a sister or a friend that Gaskins killed too.
That's what she said.
He keeps calling
That's
her
exactly what
Lolly
she said.
or Lollipop. Lollipop. I keep hearing that over and over too.
Lolly.
Yeah, there's a lot going on at that place.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I mean, you get
there's a lollipop. There's I think a lollipop street not far from the store.
Get the fuck out of here. Oh shit.
Yeah, down. I'll have to go.
I believe you.
Yes, we got to go back.
I knew
the whole time we were in the parking lot. I was panicking. I felt panic.
Well, he was out.
Remember, I told you
there.
He
knows. There's the documentary out about this place. The guy that owns it felt it needed to be documented, so it's out there. But he's in control of where it's played. I don't even know how to refer any viewers to it, but I can do this. Donald Pee Wee Gaskins detailed his life and crimes in his own autobiography called Final Truth, and it was co-authored by journalist Wilton Earl. And he even says, in my book, I'm not asking nobody's forgiveness. I got no apologies to make for my life. I had my reasons for everything I've done.
Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness.
And that's
a true psychopath because he don't give a.
Yeah. No, he doesn't.
Because nobody gave an F about him growing up when he needed to develop. So, yeah.
I wanted you guys to see. I knew that it would take you there. I know it's not that great of a piece of, it's not like
but
I got run down the stairs.
As soon as I got
or dragged by my hair or something. But
as soon as I got the energy of it, I just started seeing visions of visions of visions of visions in that place.
Mm-hmm.
There are more bodies around that property that he is either
absolutely yes
or hurt there.
Yes.
Well, it's crazy. Crazy how we do things sometimes. We're doing this show. We're all teaching each other, and the people that are watching, they're listening and they're learning.
Yeah.
It's almost preparing you to go back and do battle on that woman's behalf against Pee Wee.
Because
now you know what you're dealing with.
We're going to have to take him on in order to get them free.
Yeah.
Bring it on.
But you got to put a name to him, and you have to go back to his childhood. You got to go back to take away his power that he gained in prison. And you have to go back to the earlier days where he didn't want to go to. If you take control of that and show that back to him, I think you're going to have an ability to be able to separate the people he's keeping captive there, and calling him out and bringing him out into the open. So
you need to bring a bottle of kerosene with you.
Yeah.
And open the top and let him smell that.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to trigger the shit out of him.
He didn't drink it. He was given it. They were trying to kill him.
Well, he tasted that and he knows that smell. That's going to trigger the shit out of him. That's going to weaken him right there.
Whether he took it or they gave it to him.
Oh my God. Oh my God. There was a kerosene incident with the store that's attached to it. Really? Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. It was in the winter, and wow, that just got real. I got chills all over me. Oh my God. Yeah. Oh, and then there was a generator problem too. But it was a restaurant. They had to have the generator as backup, and there was an issue with fuel with that too. That's his Achilles heel.
Yeah, you're right. Wow. That is his kryptonite.
Mm-hmm. I got chills so bad it hurts.
That'll be your trigger object.
I'm smelling kerosene right now.
Yeah.
The trigger object to call him out. That's what you need. Once you call him out, you have the ability for somebody else, another psychic in there, to move those women out of that area so they're not captive of him anymore. There's somebody that has to have a conversation while somebody's dealing with Pee Wee. They need to have a conversation.
He does it with all of them.
Yeah.
Well,
from what I saw, he was traveling. He has a Pee Wee highway that he goes through with all of his victims. Yeah. That's why he was eating them. He was trying to keep them.
Call him.
See, I didn't know that till tonight.
Do not call him Pee Wee. Call him Donald. That drives him nuts.
Yeah. Don't call him what he's comfortable with.
Nope. He's Donald. And don't give him a last name. He's just Donald.
Yep.
Or call him Donnie, even worse, to make it, or Don, or Donnie.
You can even use his original last name.
Yep.
Bring them back to that, it's not, you're not doing anything to piss him off per se. You're just using facts of his life that he's uncomfortable with. You need to make him uncomfortable to move him away from these women that are calling for help.
Yep.
So,
whatever help they want, whatever doing that, you lower his inhibitions down, and now you're more free to gather all the victims he had and break that tie with him. Yeah. Because once you bring that kerosene, you call him Donald, and I would say this too. I'm going to take something away from you that means the most to you. All your victims are leaving you right now. Yeah. And I'm not provoking him. I'm just telling him the straight up, God honest facts. This is what's going to happen, jackass. Whether you like it or not, you can come at me all you want to, because as soon as you come after me, bud, you got a big ass bear, a big ass wolf, a little short woman named Janimal, and 500 million tribes if I want them, plus all of Lee's spirit guides. Miss Minnie will be there. All of Gwen's, all yours. Like, you really want to play jackass? Let's play. Because I don't play fair. He's not. I'm not going to play fair.
He's more afraid now than he was when he was alive.
He's petrified.
That's the thing. If you guys go and I can't make it, just put me on the phone.
Yes.
Put me on a speaker or whatever. I think all of us together will be pretty powerful with our knowledge that we're teaching people, what we're teaching each other, and what we know about this story. I think we'll be able to help the people that want the help, that have been calling out, finding out who they are, and trying to create some peace for them, and to let good old Donald know that he's not in control anymore.
Nope.
So can I tell Tom what happened?
Sure.
So you guys had started talking about him, and the 911 call went out. I checked my camera. Nobody drove by at that time. And there's nobody in this house to dial 911.
Interesting.
It's kind of weird. And then the siren went off on my alarm. That wasn't me.
They like messing. They'll mess with us now because they know what's coming for them. So they're going to try to get every little thing they can in. They're going to try to discourage you. They're going to try to frighten you. They're going to try everything they can.
Yeah.
Hold your ground. Hold your ground.
Yep.
And let him know that you ain't scared of his little short, stubby ass, little fidget.
Sean, it's not far.
What?
Yeah. You know how tall I am, Blaine?
Doesn't matter. You're still taller than him.
Yeah, he's okay. A man that's 5'2", 5'3", that's a fidget.
Yeah. Yep.
So Sean is in South Carolina. Sean is in South Carolina.
Yeah, it's in South Carolina, Sean.
So
you know why he's asking.
Yeah, you'll be able to see the place.
But I tell you, be prepared. Again, you guys definitely know, and I don't need to tell you, the supernatural, the afterlife, they don't have a watch.
No.
They can come to us anytime they want. They know ahead of time. We're preparing in our watch time. Okay, we could go on this day. So they know you're coming and they're going to prepare. And you always got to be prepared at all times. So once we put this podcast out and made that declaration that this is how you guys want to approach it, more stuff's going to come out, and you got to be prepared. And just like in the real world, when you see somebody that look in their eyes and to avoid them, the same thing in the spirit world. When that energy has that same look, and you have to ground yourself and protect yourself. So that's important.
See, I must be mean or something, because I'll just stare right back at him.
Mm-hmm. When he comes into the room, the entire ceiling starts getting like super black.
Yeah.
Or at least in my vision, it did.
Yeah.
And then it starts to settle. Yeah. And then when you feel it, then it's all around you. I mean, it's just all over.
Part of his fear factor. That he's trying to intimidate you through fear. And you know me well enough, I'll stand right up to his little short ass and go, bring it on, little shorty.
Well, it's funny how he creates that for you, that dark on the ceiling, because it's above you.
Yeah.
He wants you to
think
he's
coming down on you. He wants to make himself look bigger than he actually is.
He was furious at me because I didn't get it. I wasn't afraid of him. I said, I am not afraid of you. I said, I don't even care I don't even know who you are, but I did. But I took all the power. I said, I'm not afraid of you.
Hell, they dealt with a lot worse than this little short ass.
I made some ugly statements, but basically saying that he was trying to be dramatic, that he couldn't be much if he was having to go to so much trouble to be so dramatic. And I'm not impressed. I just said it like that.
I just said, okay, we've seen you, big boy. Now this, let me hear your big boy voice.
And then the walls, he started banging on this wall, all over, bang. And I said, knock, knock, who's there? Can you come in? You're too afraid to come in, and I would just go on and on.
I'm just a little girl.
A lot of cases, even as you're saying that, I've had a lot of cases where somebody in the house was a murderer and they committed a murder of some sort. And when you call them out and you recognize them, they always get angry and bang on the wall. I don't know what it is, the wall banging that they do.
That's their way of showing showing they're angry and they're they're trying to show off. It's like, okay, I could bang walls. Hell, I can bang walls too. I hit the wall right back at him.
Watch those cameras whenever they're questioning. I mean, the real ones on YouTube, where the cops are wearing a cam, and then they've got the camera through the two-way mirror, whatever, three-way, whatever way it is, and you'll see them banging on the wall, talking to themselves, banging on the wall. But the last thing I said to him was that I wish that I'd been there when he was little, because it wouldn't have happened to him like that. That I would have held him.
When he was little, he was always little.
Yeah, no. I was going to say, when they killed him, did they put him on the kids' table?
Oh, Lord.
I had to say something.
Look, you just led right into mine. I was like, when they killed him, did they put him on the kids' table?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Probably did.
There's our hashtag for this week, kids' table.
Yeah, there you go.
That's bad, y'all.
That's
a lot.
That's a good one.
Hashtag kids table.
Kids table.
I have something to say, guys. Yeah, I have something to say. Guess who's on Spotify?
We are.
Oh, we are.
Finally?
Yes. So if you are working on it.
All right.
I'm getting it's coming. I'm trying to get us on everything, and I figured Spotify was a good place to start.
Spotify's a good one to start.
Let me tell you, we sound like rock stars. She's got this thing cranked up, and it fills up the car. Matt listens to it on the way home from work. Nice. He said we sound fantastic. So our voices are in the car.
I knew about 6 months ago we needed to get our show on Spotify and Apple and get the whole network on there, because
I'm working on it.
You're doing good. I'm so glad.
You have to get it right. I made sure it was right. I don't do. Excuse me, but I don't do it half-assed.
You don't half-assed.
I made sure it was right.
Well, I think good old Pee Wee Gaskins did it half-assed, because he was
half-assed.
So he's very short.
Oh, he was a half-assed person.
Damn, he was killing his daughter's friends and cousins and stuff.
Yeah,
because he could overpower them.
Yeah, but he did the same to men. It was like, dude, he's like, no, it's like he wasn't all women he killed, wasn't all men he killed. It was like a little bit of everything. Children, old women, young men.
He waited for him to be vulnerable. A lot of them, he waited to be vulnerable and all that.
Can you just imagine?
It doesn't matter how big you are. If you put somebody in a vulnerable situation, then you could do what you want. So,
could you imagine, though, you're dead asleep, you wake up and you got this little sawed-off bastard right over you. It's like, what the holy shit.
No joke.
Yeah, micro machine.
Micro machine. I thought it was like more like micro peen, but
yeah.
Whoa.
We're getting
it's going deep now. Down the rabbit hole.
We know what's a golden shower, so come on.
Oh yes.
Maybe we ought to make a trip. I wonder where he's buried. Where is he buried? Now back to my old tricks again. Where is Pee Wee Gaskins? Now look, I am in South.
Well, there's a website called Find a Grave.
Find a Grave.
You'll be able to find it. So.
Oh yeah, there is.
Well, don't you got to know what city it is, and maybe the name of the graveyard, or?
Well, it sounds like
he was cremated.
Of course
he was cremated and scattered in the area called the Neck, which is like the neck of the woods near Prospect, South Carolina.
Yeah.
And he was born in Florence. So it was, you know what? She was pointing to that in the video.
Holy shit. Okay. You're right.
That's where he was buried, blowed out. I bet they got the leaf blower and blew his
Lord, because there couldn't have been many actions, right?
There was an actual murder case where the stupid ass police used a blower to blow off snow on this criminal case. It's like, where the hell do y'all come up with a damn blower to blow away snow? You're probably blowing away half the damn evidence.
Yeah.
Instead of sitting there scraping it, it was just snow. But yeah, they used a damn a big ass blower.
Yeah, now they got to go way out. Now they got to go out there and find it. God.
You have to go back and watch that. This lady got accused of running over her cop boyfriend.
Oops.
He was at a house with a bunch of cops at a party. She was mad at him and didn't want to go in. So she got pissed off and they waited about 10, 15 minutes, got her car, just went to fuck home. Said, screw you, you stay here. Then all of a sudden, they find him the next morning out there in the middle of the yard, dead. Snowplow guy came by, didn't see him in the yard when he crashed by at 225. She went back over the house about 6 o'clock in the morning, and that's when the police department was sitting there blowing away all the evidence with the damn blower. And then they started digging around it. All of a sudden, at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, pieces of tail light just started showing up that wasn't there.
Yeah.
Oh, this thing's a whole. Thomas knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
This case is like this lady is getting accused of killing her boyfriend, hitting her with his car. But if you actually watch the video, she went back to his house, backed into his car. That's where she broke the lens out. Never hit him. Even the defenses. I mean the prosecuting.
I'm sorry.
What?
I was laughing about something. What you were saying.
Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry.
Look at the private chat. Just look at the private chat.
I can't see none of that. So.
Oh yeah.
I can't see y'all. But anyway, even the prosecuting FBI witnesses says there is no way she could have backed over him in a car. That should have ended the case right there.
Yeah.
But no, she ended up with a hung jury, and I think tomorrow starts her second trial.
Yeah. Yeah, I tell you, there's so many cases out there that, yeah, it's nuts. Even when we talked months ago about Pam Hupp and the stuff she got away with and the crazy stuff she did to try and get out of it.
I
and
can't
all these
believe
other
that.
people. And then being accused of a crime you didn't commit, but the evidence makes it look like you did. But it's a crazy world. There, our legal system and what people do to each other.
Well, we've gone over by a good bit. I just want to throw this one little thing out there, and then let's do our hashtags and split. But I wanted to make sure people understood truly how mean this man was, Gaskins. Okay, so his murder, insatiability knew no bounds. Gaskins raped and murdered and mutilated his 15-year-old niece, Janice. He killed one of her young friends. 3 years later, he turned his rage to his neighbors. He killed both of them. And the victims are 23, Doreen Dempsey, and her 2-year-old daughter, which was what the daughter was talking about. And she was 8 months pregnant at the time of the murder.
Yeah.
Okay, so 2 kids and her. And then he tortured and murdered a 13-year-old Peggy. And then the killing was blamed on William Pierce, a man already serving life sentence in Georgia. But Pee Wee confessed to it in 1979. So he was even let people, take the blame for him. That wasn't a problem. But man, it was just like, we'll just kill this kid and that kid and this niece and the neighbors and their kids. God, it didn't even make any rhyme or reason.
Bastard, if you can kill a 2-year-old child and a child in the womb.
Yeah.
Because he gets charged with 3 homicides, just that one. That's a serial kill right there.
Yep.
Just right there.
But I think
you guys have any other?
Some of the younger girls because they were caught doing like smoking or doing drugs or something, and you know he didn't want them to grow up that way, so he thought it was on him to kill them. So that was another part of it too.
So when I made the comment, which is what I was laughing about, when I said, I bet they put his ashes in a leaf blower and just blew him out into the neck. Well, the last.
His
last BJ.
Oh, his last blood.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that was a good one. That's a good one. So there's that.
Yeah.
There's that.
So get bears way too easy.
I'm just laughing.
Yeah.
Is that our new hashtag?
Better than my shirt is.
What is it? Hashtag Ashes blowjob.
Ashes blowjob.
Oh my Lord! Tonight, good show.
The Kills on Wheels.
Kills on Wheels. We got them.
Hashtag Last BJ.
Last BJ. Yeah.
There it is.
Well, guys, thank y'all for listening this week. We enjoyed it. Next week, let's do Lorraine Warnos.
That's it.
To talk about. Woo-wee.
Yeah, she was, and I've got some videos to show.
Oh, some of her interviews is like when she's happy. Her interviews are awesome, but when she's pissed off, she's like, "If I can get across this table, I'd stab you too." You know, that's the kind of shit she was going through.
That's her. That's the real thing.
Yeah.
Well, thank you everybody for watching Serial Killers, Supernatural, and Murders with Tom Gormley, Blaine Rowan, the producer Gwen Johns, and me. We'll see you next week with what's her name?
Eileen Warnos.
That's it. So watch us next week. Get your questions ready. Hashtag day. Ashes last BJ. There it is.
Good night.
Oh, what was the mini what?
Micro machine.
Micro machine.
What was the other thought it was micro peen, but hey.
Get out that on there.
Oh, Lord.
Micro machine with micro peen.
Micro peen machine. There you go. We'll sell all together. Make sure we get everybody together in a group. There we go.
Yeah, that's it. Off we go, yeah. Guys, good night. Oh,
good night.